Yes, so we see increasing difficulty of low-income households and the youth to access a house through property. And that means that they're going to face difficulty to access a basic right. So the question is, should we keep making people access a house through rising prices and now through rent, which are increasing constantly? Or should we think different models that allow households to dedicate a greater amount of income to basic needs, to welfare in general? No? So yeah, we have to make this decision.
Objective 25 proposes a horizon of transformation in which 25% of houses would be public property or would be communitarian property. The meaning of that is that these 25% of houses will be outside of the market in order to be able to do housing policy to protect other objectives or to attain other objectives, right? Like social cohesion, or to help young people who want to move to big cities in order to find a job they would like to do, and many other things, since housing affects everyday life in many ways, right? The idea, the calculations in our report show that, for example, for the case of Spain, it's necessary to invest around 1.5% of GDP in order to achieve this 25% of housing in 10 years. This funding implies that we need the collaboration of many institutions, right? At the European Union level, like the European Central Bank or the European Investment Bank, the European Commission, but also of member states of the European Union or regions. Then we have in the report, we divide it in 3 pillars of what actions are necessary in order to achieve this objective 25. One is funding, how to obtain the funding. The other one is legislative action in order to ease achieving this objective. And the last one is how to implicate as many private actors as possible in achieving the objective.
So currently we're seeing that there's a surge in policies at the local, at the regional, state level, but also at the European level, directed at having investment in housing, but we must make sure that this investment is directed at public, at protected housing, but also at community housing. And furthermore, we must ensure that those policies are not only directed at investment, but that we also have regulatory practices that limit this investment so that this housing does not end for speculatory aims, so that this housing is used for residential purposes, such as limiting buying and selling house for residential purposes, applying limitations on rent caps, so rent caps per se, and with those policies, so both with the investment and the anti-speculation measures, we can make sure that we have access to affordable and decent housing.